What's up, you guys? Back at you again with another one. It's Friday. It's a great day. Today we are at J&K Automotive with my buddy Matt, and we are getting the block machine today. We got the big block Chevy in the big Rottler machine, and Matt's gonna kind of show us the way on how it's done. He's got all the fancy tools, and let's basically get right onto it. Okay, now Matt is currently setting up the machine, and what we are doing right now is finding zero. So since we just put the new block in the machine, he has to manually go over here on his screen and tell the machine where the center of number one cylinder, or in this case number two cylinder, is. And so once the machine knows that, we'll basically set a couple of little things which I don't know about. He'll probably explain that here in just a minute, and start and go get lunch. All right, so basically step number two is putting the deck plate on the block. So this huge billet chunk of aluminum simulates the cylinder head on the engine, and we're going to tighten down all the head bolts on here so that when it's tightened down, it simulates the cylinder head being on there. So the cylinder bores will actually distort the way it's going to be when the cylinder heads are on it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to preface this by saying, number one, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat when building engines, machining engines, and all that stuff like that. We're doing it our way because, well, Matt's doing it his way because he knows it works. And he's a professional, and that's why I take it to the professionals. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get this deck plate tightened down. Okay, so what is this tool called?
Oh, that's the hone head. So the hone head holds the diamonds.
That's basically these guys in here, and that's diamonds. Diamonds and what? Like, what else is like in there?
I don't really know, but it's a diamond cutting stone.
Mm-hmm.
It's 170 grit. Some might say that's a little aggressive, but for what you're trying to do with this thing, you need to be able to hold the oil inside the groove. So we're going to go a little on the aggressive side with the stone, and we're going to go around, we're going to cut it with the CBN, smooth it out, and you're going to have yourself on a heck of a boat.
So basically all we're doing with these is we're scratching the heck out of the cylinders, right?
In a sense, scratching the heck, but it's also making the cylinder round, and that's the beauty of using diamonds, is that they cut straight and they cut fast. Okay,
well, that's interesting. So the whole reason for putting scratches in your cylinder, he actually had a really good explanation on the floor here. Tell me what you were explaining to me on the floor.
Well, it's kind of like this crack here. So if you put a bunch of water on the floor and you scratched it with a squeegee, kind of like your ring, the crack will hold the water. So in the sense, the crack will hold the oil. So as that ring's scraping up and down, it's still holding the oil, which creates part of the seal.
Got it. So we're basically making a gazillion of these scratches in the cylinder. So like he just said, when the piston's going up and down, the rings are gliding on oil and not a flat, shiny surface. So let's go ahead and see this thing in action. All right, so this is the absolute coolest thing in the world. Wait, before you put that in there, what the heck is that?
It's a microscope.
That is the craziest looking microscope I've ever seen. So he's gonna put that in the cylinder, and we're gonna look at what the cylinder looks like. So this is from 1970 something, and it's got a lot of thousands of miles on it. So we can see that there's really no cross hatching. Everything's very horizontal. So a little bit of pitting there, right? Is that what that is?
Probably the rust that you see.
Okay, that's some rust. That is so crazy, and he's just moving his hand around in the cylinder with that little camera. That is wild. Okay, so what do you think? Like, what do you see on there? Like, does that look good to you, or what's your thoughts on that?
It's just a worn out cylinder.
Okay, that's worn out.
It's just a worn out cylinder. Nothing bad, just a worn out ran engine cylinder. But we're gonna clean that up.
So we'll do before and afters.
For sure.
Hit cycle start. Oh boy. So we start coolant flow. And here we go. So now that we just made the first pass on the block, we did a super light touch on it. So like the stones were really barely touching. How much did we target to take off again? Was it like 2/10,000ths of an inch? So now we got Matt taking actual measurements of the bores, and now we're going to basically figure out how bad they are, how out of round they are. As you can see, he's in there, and then figure out how much further we got to go to make them perfect. Okay, third pass has been done now. What do we got going on?
Well, in order for the cylinder to clean up, as you can see inside there, if you look from this one to this one, now the cylinder, except for one little spot right there, but the grand total is about 3 thousandths. That's what it took to make that cylinder round again. So the question now is, that you're gonna have to make, is do you want to go the next size bigger, or do you want to put a piston in there that has a coating that can open up that cylinder?
Well, to see that this is kind of a budget, well, it is a budget build. Coating pistons can get a little spendy, so let's just err on the side of no, we're not going to do piston coatings. Okay. So what's the next thing? Do we want to take more out because we still have that one little spot in there?
Well, yeah, because I mean we're at 3, so the next size bigger, the next piston size bigger is usually, in this case, might be a 40.
40 over.
That you can get like an off-the-shelf, easier to get piston, or unfortunately all the way to 60 unless it's a custom deal. But I mean, it's going to have to be opened up if that's what you want to do. So it's going to have to go an additional 7 to get it to size.
So let's go to 40
Okay.
and double check the measurement, and then basically go from there. And then I'll call the piston manufacturer or whoever we're getting the parts from, and then see if we can get a 40 over piston.
All right.
Yeah, let's rock with that. Okay, we are back from the engine shop, and while Matt is still getting the rest of the block done, I made it back to the house to work on the back of the boat. Well, actually, first, I almost forgot. Over the weekend, it's been a couple of days since I picked a camera, but over the weekend, I got all my Holley gauges installed. And man, let me tell you, I am so glad we went with actual like analog style gauges and not like a touchscreen digital dash like I got in the rest of the cars. It fits the boat so much better. Just here, take a look at this. Check them out. So we've got tachometer, engine RPM. We've got oil pressure, fuel level, water temp, volts, wideband air fuel, which is not a very common gauge that you see in boats or really any application, and GPS speed. This speedo is actually really nice because it is GPS, and we don't need any mechanical or weird things to, tell us what's going on with speed. So the number one beauty about these Holley digital gauges is that they are digital. Everything plugs into one wiring harness and it reads off the ECU, so I don't need separate wires and sensors to just send information to the gauges and separate sensors and stuff to send information to the ECU. Everything reads off one deal, so it simplifies the heck out of wiring, it cleans it up, and everything just looks good. So I'm really happy with these gauges. But anyways, going back to the back of the boat, I got, flip it around here, I got all new stainless hardware to get all these rusty, crunchy bolts out of here. They're basically going to look like this. These are all stainless, same size, same everything, but just stainless, so they won't ever rust. So let's go ahead and get all these guys on. Okay, well, here we are again, starting a project and realizing it's a lot more than what I thought it was going to be, which, not a big deal, but check this out. I got some of the cab plates polished up a little bit, just basically like the first 2 passes at it. This is what it started as, and this is what it looks like now. Definitely a lot nicer. We got all the old junky hardware out of there, and all the little like turnbuckles have rust all in them. So I'm soaking them in some CLR to hopefully just kind of get the rust to fall off of them. We'll see, but I think I'm just gonna break these cab plates off the bottom of the boat, as well as the big rod up here that has all the little things for the turnbuckles, and take them to the polishing shop so they are done professionally and look awesome. So let's get them off. All right, so we got the cab plates off, we've got the rudder support brace off, and my trailer jack just came today. So this thing's pretty cool, except for either they forgot one piece in the box or I forgot a piece in the box that goes on, or like a bolt with a plate or something that goes here so I can weld it to the trailer. But here are all the aluminum pieces that are going to go get polished. So pretty cool to see like an original Sanger piece right there. But yeah, these things have seen better days for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these all blinged up and looking good. But yeah, we're looking good, slowly but surely. And yeah. All right, well, hopefully you've made it this far in the video, and I think we're gonna cut it here just because I was expecting a little bit more to get done this week, but the Friday deadline is coming quick, so it's time to edit this video and get it uploaded for you guys, because I told you every single Friday a new video is coming. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and make sure you like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Every single Friday, we got a new one coming at you. Peace out, guys.